You're on. Hi there, everybody. Your old pal Stevie Coyle here from Lafayette, California at Mighty Fine Guitars. Checking to make sure things are happening as usual. I have a guitar to show you today that's really quite wonderful. This fella just keeps bringing me wonderful guitars that he built his own self. His name is John Datlen, D-A-T-L-E-N, capital D, small a, small t, small l, small e, small I. Datlen. Friend him up on Facebook if you like, because friend is a verb now. So feel free to friend him up. Checking to make sure things are happening. They appear to be happening. Very good. Here's a picture, starts off with a picture of me and Mr. Dave, David Lindley, my old first teacher ever, who lived next door. He was one of the kids that lived, I'll just jabber while I wait for some folks to show up here. David Lindley he didn't live next door. He was pals with and bandmates with the fellow who lived next door to me when I was a little kid. And boy, trying to fall asleep in hot, smoggy, early 1960s San Gabriel Valley. At night, it was just stifling hot. Our house did not have air conditioning or insulation at first. And so the windows were open. And this hot string band music from next door came drifting in, because these kids next door were really good players. And they played at Disneyland under a couple of different names. And they were terrific. Among them was David Lindley. So when my mom came home on St. Patrick's Day of 1966, if memory serves, with two awful Stella guitars, we got real interested because we wanted to play like the big kids next door. And one of the guitars was so awful. As I recall, one of them had a wooden top. The other one was fuzzy on the inside. You could reach in the sound hole and feel it was kind of fuzzy on the inside. I think it was masonite. These were awful guitars, and we loved them beyond all measure. They were wonderful to us. And of course, in those days, you would have instruction books that kind of thought the piano was where every instrument instruction book should start. Now, the key of C, for those of you that play, you know this, and others that don't, I'll blather just a bit about it. The key of C is great on piano because there are no black keys. You just get to sound good on the white keys. Famous composers have done nothing but play in the key of C. But on guitar, what it means, generally speaking, is the second chord you bump into is the F chord, the aptly named F chord, which is really hard to play. It's really hard to make it sound good at first. So a lot of people got that far. They opened their instruction book and said, well, you know, first thing you got to learn is how to tune the guitar. A non-trivial event, especially before the advent of electronic tuners. I don't know how we ever got any music played in tune. Apparently it happened. That was the first page, so that was a big, huge challenge. Then the second page was play the C chord. Now play the F chord. Holy smokes, I'm stopped. So many people, even now, guys my age and older, come in and say, oh, you know, I'm going to get back to it, doggone it. But it was that F chord that stopped me. I figured if I couldn't even play the second chord in the book, I wasn't a guitar player. Wrong. So very wrong. Good heavens. That's criminal that so many books started off in the key of C. Terrible key to start off playing guitar. So, all of which is to say, these kids next door, we took our little guitars next door, and my brother and I, Jamie, we took our guitars next door and we said, we can play. Davey, because he was really cool. I always made funny faces and did impressions, and he was really cool to us kids. So was Steve, the neighbor kid. They were all really cool. We took our guitars next door and said, we're very excited, but we can play our C chord, and we play the G7 chord, which is the third chord in the book, in the Mel Bay or whatever the hell book it was. But that F chord, he said, oh, no. Your action, the string height above the fretboard is about like that. You're not going to be able to play a nice, polite little F chord with a bar and everything. You better learn to use your thumb over the top. So we did, and we both ended up playing pretty good. How about that? Let me see who all is here. Welcome, all of you. Lucky 13, nice to see you. Stevie Coyle here at Mighty Fine Guitars in Lafayette, California, jabbering for just a bit about guitars. And the video started off with a picture of me and Mr. Dave that was taken, David Lindley, that was taken at Armando's up here in Martinez just a few years ago. It's great. He's a huge hero of mine. He just turned 75. Happy birthday, Mr. Dave. But today is all about, now that we got a few folks here, I'll dig in. This is the Datlen. John Datlen, D-A-T-L-E-N, capital D. All the rest are small letters. There's no apostrophes, not Datlen or anything fancy like that. I don't know how he does it, but the past number of guitars he's brought in, and lots of guitars have come through here, I'm very lucky that he brings his guitars to my shop to sell because they go. He has a big, big fan in, of all people, Jason Newsted, very late of Metallica. Loves his guitars and has commissioned a couple and bought a couple right on the spot here. John happened to be in here showing me a guitar, and Jason was in here too. He said, I'll take that guitar. That sounds great. I was just going to say, before I interrupted myself, I really need to go to on and on and on. What his guitars do that is really criminal is they sound broken in right out of the gate. This guitar is really new and it has no right to sound that good. Big, bright and clear. Some of it, of course, is the woods. Ziricote. Look at that. I wonder if you can sort of see the grain there. Ziricote is a southern Mexican, Central American hardwood, very, very hard hardwood. So it's got a really bright, reflective sort of sound. And you can slice it really thin because it's so hard. And super resonant. Even just tapping on the back of here, go boom, 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 boom. I'm ready to play. Let's go. And the top on this is, let me check my notes here, German spruce top. Ziricote back and sides, Honduras mahogany neck, standard and totally cool. Macassar ebony bindings, maple purfling, Macassar ebony fretboard and bridge, Manzer wedge. This is a little hard to see, but notice that the guitar is a little bit narrower this dimension over here than it is over there. So what this does is it makes the top and back not parallel, which is, a lot of people, you gotta have, the guitar has to be, the front and back have to be parallel, don't they? Not at all. What this means is it's a little easier to get your elbow up over the guitar here because there's less width to stretch across. Very smart. Pioneered or really developed by Linda Manzer, a wonderful builder. M-A-N-Z-E-R if you want to look her up. What a lively guitar, and so young. Continue with the specs here real quick. 14 frets to the body, long scale, 25.4. So what that means is probably going to sound good with drop tunings. You're going to be able to... Oh yeah, nothing wrong with that. Stretched it a little too much. Sorry, kids. Lots and lots of overtones. Oh my, this is a modern guitar. Modern guitars, I think one of the characteristics of the modern sound is very heavy overtones. Lots and lots of overtones. Undertones that generate higher notes in the same acoustic sequence. And it gets all technical and scientific and shit. The cool thing about regular long scale is that as opposed to short scale, which means strings are easier to bend around, long scale means that you can usually tune the strings down and not have them at the intonation get funky as you move up the neck, particularly on the low strings. So this is great for if you do alternate tunings, if you do D, double drop D, dadgad, Orkney, Dorkney, any of those alternate tunings. Sounds great in missionary tuning too. Listen to that, boy. there's so much in there. This is one of those guitars that has, it's all there, and you get to play back from everything instead of really driving it hard to get more out of it. This has got tons and tons of overtone, volume. Oh my gosh. So you get to play back from the everything that it provides almost instantly. Very loud, very bright, very forward, modern sounding guitar. Let me check and see if there are any comments and questions. John Mooney, did you find it? Did you find the feed? It looks like some folks are here. Yeah, Larry Pattis, 25.4. That's the scale we like for alternate tunings. Larry Pattis, fine guitars. A lot of alternate tunings. Orkney Dorkney Boffman. Laugh out loud at that. Hi, John Kressich. Johnny K is there. There we go. Oh, hi, John Datlen. Well, thank you very much. John started off building, tell me if I'm telling any lies here, John, but I think you started off building classical guitars and then shifted over to steel string guitars, and it's just been one fabulous guitar after another in here. I don't know, how many have we sold of yours, John? A bunch. They go quick. So kids, don't wait. Joe Bob says, check it out. And remember, Joe Bob is the guy who says, check it out. Who else we got on here? Not with, good question, Ken. 1 3/4. John, perhaps slightly on the wide side of 1 3/4. It feels a little extra wide to me. Maybe it's the string spacing, which is 2 1/4. Schertler open gear tuners. And how do you pronounce this, John? You can't tell me here, can you? Weisses Nut? Weisses Nu? Hey, fabulous premium case. One of them really cool hard carbonized cases from Thailand, is it? Wonderful case that goes along with it. And a beautiful, beautiful guitar. Look how gorgeous. It's all shiny. Ziricote is very dark, very chocolatey in appearance. The top is vanilla. It's German spruce. Weisses Nut? Weisses Nut. Thank you, Ken. That always sounds wrong to me. Sounds kind of dirty, but it's apparently the name. Hi, Nancy Paul. Hi, Ken. Come on down, Ken, if you like. I'm here till 5 o'clock. 6 o'clock on Fridays. I'm a day ahead. Here till 6 o'clock. I blame the schools. Great guitar, good heavens. I'm just going to sit and play it for a little bit. It was probably what everybody wants anyway. bright and singy on the top and really powerful. There's lots of baritone, there's lots of tuba in the bass, you know? Yeah, give me that. Wonderful guitar. Come on. John Datlen. Hit one out of the ballpark with this bad boy. Lovely. I'll do my little Carol Merrill here. Give you views all the way around. Beautifully built, beautifully set up. Plays great, sounds great, looks great. Comes in a fabulous case. What's not to like? Price tag is a mere $7,500. Which in this shop, you know, that's kind of right in the ballpark. Let me see if there are comments or questions. Hi, Alan Venable. Nice to see you. There we are. Hi, Dick Sandvik. Look at all these folks. There we go. Dave Garvin. Steve Messenger. Yeah, Steve, there was a Datlen 00 Redwood Walnut that got sold that looked pretty sweet. I'll show you that next time. There's another Datlen in here that's a 00. 00s are great for couch playing. You bet. And, hey, Jim Esposito, very good. He's a Datlen fan, aren't you, Jim? Jimmy. And there's John Delap, fine builder. John, we have interest in your Nick Lucas. I'm going to be showing it off to a fella in Arizona tomorrow on a Zoom session. Your little maple Nick Lucasy kind of thing. You bet. Laura McQueen, Ken Risling, Tara Covington, nice to see you. Hello, Tara. Yes, a bit wider than 1 3/4. Yeah, I thought so. It's 1 3/4-ish. That is maybe 13/16 or something. But it's really comfy for fingerstyle where you're doing multiple things at a time and you don't want your one finger dinking an adjacent string. This is great for that. love hearing those little half steps against each other, especially on a really bright big guitar like this. Wah, 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 wah. Instant tremolo or vibrato, whichever one that is. Those two against each other. Oh, yeah. Oh boy, oh boy. Well, I'm going to sign off. I'm probably just going to sit here and play it all day. Come on in. The shop is at 85 Lafayette Circle in bucolic, Lafayette, California. If there are any guitars you would like to see off of the website, mightyfineguitars.com, just let me know. We can set up a little Zoom session, a little FaceTime, a little Skype, whatever you like, just like I'm doing for that Datlen or the DeLap guitar tomorrow. Also want to let you know, the Quitters, myself and Glenn Houston, late of Houston Jones and the Waybacks, and Menudo, all of us got kicked out for being too old of Menudo. We're playing in Berkeley at a place called Timbre Folk and Baroque, which is the coolest little shop that specializes in stringed instruments, mostly Scandinavian stringed instruments, like hardanger fiddles and nickel harpas and all these wild instruments that just take you someplace else, extraterrestrial. This wonderful little shop called Timbre Folk and Baroque. We're playing there tomorrow night, the 26th, at 7 o'clock p.m. Come on by if you can. And the Quitters, where else are we playing anytime soon? We're in Half Moon Bay, Los Gatos, Benicia, San Gregorio, San Mateo, Shingle Springs, Gilroy, back in Lafayette for 2 events in September. Check out quittersduo.com. Let me check and make sure there are no other questions. And mostly, yeah, it's an OM. John is catching up on some stuff that I'm blathering past. Chris Gasparo, there you are. And the conversation can continue. You know what? Even when I sign off here, which will be momentarily, you can continue the conversation in the thread, and everybody can keep an eye on things. If you would like, feel free to pass this along. Feel free to share these Friday noontime webcasts on your own timeline. That'd be terrific. Same thing with any of the gig mentions, any shows that you've been to that you'd like to, or do you see my little advertisements come by? You think somebody in the Bay Area here for right now would like to hear some fingerstyle from me and some wild flat picking from Glenn. Excuse me, upside down and backwards. Left-handed, upside down and backwards. He sounds great. I can't watch him because it freaks me out too much. But he sounds great. Every once in a while I'll sneak a look over there and get dizzy and have to clutch the floor because I get the spinnies. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Your old pal Stevie Coyle here, signing off from Mighty Fine Guitars. Today's feature was a Datlen OM cutaway. D-A-T-L-E-N. John Datlen is on the feed here. Friend him up if you like. And I'll see you next week with some features. We're going to feature some guitars, one by and one from Peter Rodman, a wonderful builder. So tune in next week, Friday at noon for the Friday Noontime webcast. Stevie Coyle here, signing off. Ta-ta.